Hi guys, this is Mrs. Todd down here. I'm ready to remind you how to add and subtract if you have mixed numbers. It's the same process of what we learned yesterday, adding and subtracting fractions. We just have to add, how to work with mixed numbers. There are multiple options for how to work with mixed numbers when performing operations like regrouping. However, an option that always works is to simply change all mixed numbers into improper fractions. Okay, so let's look at our steps for how to change our mixed numbers into improper fractions. Step 1, you're going to multiply the denominator by the whole number, and you're going to ignore negatives at that point. And then you're going to add the numerator. Use that result as your new numerator and keep the denominator of the original fraction. So let me show you an example. If I had 2 1/4, I would start out by taking the denominator of 4, multiply it by 2 to get 8. Then I would add 1 to get a 9. Okay? Nothing would change if there's a negative here. I would ignore that negative and I would still go 4 times 2 is 8, add 1 is 9, and get that as my new numerator. Then you keep the denominator of 4. If the fraction is negative, here's how you handle that negative. Just copy it. If the original number is negative, changing it to an equivalent new form, it would still be negative though. Okay? So once you have all your mixed numbers as improper, then you simply add or subtract using the same process of common denominators that we learned from the previous lesson. Let's look at some examples. I've got two mixed numbers, so I've got to change them both to improper. So the first one, start with the denominator, multiply it by the whole number. 4 times 4 is 16. Now add that numerator to that result. 16 plus 1 is 17. Then keep that denominator. I'm going to copy the minus sign and the fact the next one's negative. Now I'm going to do the same process. I'm going to go 7 times 2 is 14 plus 6 is 20. Then I'm going to put that over at the same denominator. Okay. Next step I'd like to do is find common denominators. The common denominator of 4 and 7 would be 28. So this one's going to grow pretty big on us. All right, I think 4 times 7 is how I get 28. So I want to do 17 times 7, which ends up being 119. Now the other one, 7 times 4 is how we get a 28. So I have to go 20 times 4 to get 80. And then I'm going to copy those symbols. Remember, keep your denominator, perform the operation on the numerators. So now I want to take care of the fact I'm subtracting a negative. Subtracting a negative is the same thing as adding the opposite, so add a positive is what you will do. So I think 119 plus positive 80 is 199. Wow, now we got to change that to a mixed number. I have to think, what is 199 divided by 28? So I'm going to think, well, 30 would go into 200 at least 6 times, but there'd be quite a bit left over. I'm going to go ahead and try 7 instead of 6 because my gut tells me it's going to be 7. So I'm going to go 7 times 8 is 56, carry my 5. 7 times 2 is 14 plus that 5 is 19. So I got lucky. My gut was right. 199 minus 196 gives us a remainder of 3. So remember to change that to mixed number. Your 7 is your whole number. Remainder is numerator. And now keep that same denominator. Your answer is 7 3/28. Let's look at one more example. We're not going to work as many today because these are longer problems. All right, mixed numbers go to improper first. So I go 8 times 2 is 16 plus the 1 is 17. Then keep the denominator. Copy your symbol. Perform the next one. 2 times 1 is 2 plus that 1 is 3. Then keep your denominator. Our next step, common denominators. The common denominator of 8 and 2 is 8. There's more than that, but 8's my favorite. All right, 8 times what is 8? Well, it's just 1. So remember, when the denominators don't change, neither do the numerators. So it's 17 over 8. Copy my symbol. Now 2 times 4 is how we get an 8. So I have to do 3 times 4 to get that new numerator of 12. All right, keep that denominator. Perform your operations on the numerator. 17 take away 12 is 5, and we're really excited because our result is simplified. We don't have any more work to do. All right, once you get done with your try these problems, you'll be ready for today's practice. Good luck.